So what have you found effective platforms, tools, software to basically speed up the process and scale?
Yeah, so we actually revert back to Trello.
Yeah.
My sales manager, he's a little more simple. Monday's a little more complicated.
Yep.
So he likes using Trello.
Yes.
So we just run a funnel in Trello.
Yeah.
And that's how when we have a recruit that comes in, they go into Trello and then we move them through the process. For him, that's what the system that works.
Yeah.
Monday's a little bit more advanced. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So he likes Trello. So
Yeah.
that's where we manage our recruits in there.
Good.
The key is it's all about duplication, right? That's a big thing I've been learning over the last year is how do I duplicate myself? Because it can only be in so many places.
Replicate?
Duplicate. Yeah. How can I be in in two places at once?
Yeah.
So we built a landing page on our website. And there's a lot of people, when they're researching brokerages, they're going to your website.
For sure.
So you need to have a page, and it's join our team.
Yep.
And then they click on that. And Brian, who's here in the room, Brian will give you a shout out, help build this. There's multiple videos on there. There's a video from me explaining kind of the foundation of what Whissel Realty Group's all about, which is systems, structure, and support. And then there's a video from my sales manager focusing on what his role is and how he's going to help agents grow.
Yeah.
So we give them a little bit of taste of what we're all about. And then we let them know, hey, now that you've learned a little bit more about who we are and what we're all about, we'd love to learn more about you.
Yeah.
Click here to schedule a video interview. Now we're using this killer system. It's called Spark Hire. Spark Hire is amazing because this is a huge duplication thing. So the way that it works, I record my interview question on video one time.
Yep.
And
Interview question or questions?
there's multiple, right?
Yeah.
So we record,
Yeah.
I think 5, and you got to keep it simple, right? You don't want to ask too many questions.
Yeah.
So I record a series of 5 different questions. And now when an agent clicks on that link, when they click on it, it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. They now get to respond to my video questions with video answers.
Yes.
So they're literally going to sit there with their phone, and it's going to be, tell me about your production in 2019. So in 2019, I sold 15 homes. Blah, blah, blah. Like they could literally record that on video at whatever time they want.
Yeah.
And I don't have to go set up a time for me and this person to go meet at the office or meet at Starbucks or anything like that.
And are you using that as a pre-qualifier?
Yeah, because there's so many people I don't have time to sit down and meet with, nor does my sales manager have time. Like I know within 5 seconds of somebody talking, if I could even tolerate them. Like there's people, they might be the best salespeople in the world, but if I can't tolerate them, or they show up and they've got like their face tattooed or something, like I could literally rule somebody out in a split second.
Yeah.
Because I know they're not going to be a fit, or they're just not going to fit our demographic. Like
And how
I can
about
judge
the fact
that
if
quickly.
they just don't respond?
If they don't do it, they don't move on.
Exactly.
Like it's a must.
Yeah.
And we want people that are going to be comfortable getting on video because we're a very video focused company. So the cool thing is they basically do this interview whenever they want. And now I get to watch it whenever I want.
Yeah.
So we're not having to align these schedules. I went out to dinner with some friends and I was driving home and I watched an interview or listened to an interview, I should say.
Yeah.
Listened to an interview while I was
tell
on the
me
way
he was
home.
listening on the drive home.
Yeah, I listened. I listened to an interview while I was on the way home.
Yeah.
Like that was killer. I didn't have to go meet somebody somewhere. Like that is huge. And then now your whole team can collaborate on that. We can each write notes about the responses.
Yep.
We can rate them 1 to 5 stars on their responses, which is really cool. So that's like our initial interview with somebody. If we like them, then what we like to do is invite them to a team meeting.
Yep.
Which there's a lot behind that. It sounds like whatever, but I want to first make sure they show up on time.
Yep.
I want to see what they wear when they show up. I want to see how they act when they show up. Like we just had a guy recently who showed up, sat down at the front desk. There wasn't anybody there at the time, sat there and just started playing on his phone. Didn't like say, hey, or anything like that. And we're like,
how's that guy's going to do open houses?
Yeah. Like I wonder how long he's going to sit there for. Like everybody's over here in this room and this guy's just sitting over here like, and I'm not. It's like, what are you doing?
Waiting to be invited in.
Yeah, like, what are you doing, bro?
Yes.
I want people who walk in a room and are magnetic.
Yeah.
And so I want them to walk in a room. I want them to, get in the middle of the action, start talking to people, asking questions before the meeting ever starts. Then we'll ask them, once the meeting starts, we introduce any guests that we have for the day, and then we ask them to tell us something fun about themselves, which I'm judging this question as well.
For sure.
Like, are you going to tell me something fun? Like, I had somebody recently was like, I don't remember her name, but she was like, and I'm from Detroit. I was like, that's your something fun? Like, come on. I want to know. Like, I had another guy come in. He's like, I can do walking handstands. and are like, prove it. And
Show
you like
us,
walk
exactly.
down the hallway,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that was cool. Like
Yes.
that's somebody who's going to fit my vibe.
Yeah.
The person who comes in and is literally curled up in a ball, I don't know, that I'm going to count that against them for sure.
Yeah.
So all those little things we're judging. Then from that point,
But I want to be clear, like you did take the time to identify like who is our ideal salesperson,
Oh, yeah.
what is their disc profile, what is their background, what's their mindset. So for someone listening, is they're like, God, he's being so judgmental. No, he knows this sandbox that you've created is really special.
Yeah.
And you know who's going to play well in the sandbox and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Just
And
public service announcement.
Yeah, I know. I talked about seasoned agents before. It's not that they can't be successful. Like the number one agent in my area, he's 67 years old. He's out there door knocking every day. Like he kills, but he has a pager.
You know that's young in real estate.
He has a pager
though.
and he uses carbon copy paper. Like, but he still does good. But in our culture, it would just be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that, you know, somebody who's seasoned doesn't do well in real estate. It just doesn't do well in our environment because we're so tech heavy.